All right. Welcome in one of our newest coaches, Jeremy Scherer. How you doing today, bud?
Doing good, Mike. How are you?
I'm good, man. You working over there?
I am working a little bit this afternoon. Absolutely.
How's the housing market?
It's a little bit of an adventure right now. Not enough homes for sale, and they're maybe a little expensive, and interest rates are high. So we're still getting it done, though. It's all good.
All right, cool, man. All right, let's get into it, man. How long have you been around C26?
I have been on the team for about 6 years now as a coached athlete with Robbie.
Okay. And how's that going? Obviously pretty good, or you wouldn't be around. But now you're going to be coaching under the C26 umbrella.
Yeah.
And how you feeling about the coaching side of things, man? You texted me earlier and said you had a new athlete and everything, so must be getting into it.
Yeah, you got it. I'm excited. Things are going well. So I started about 6 years ago with Robbie, and probably like a lot of athletes, I was looking for some custom coaching, a little direction. I'd been doing it on my own for a while. And I got all that. Robbie laid out a great plan, helped me achieve some goals, improve my fitness, my race times. What I didn't expect and what I did get, which has kind of led me to coaching, is I kind of got this community and this family and this group of friends that I really didn't foresee at all when I kind of started on this venture. So after a few years and a bunch of camps and races and all that stuff, the opportunity came up to start doing some coaching myself, like you said, under the C26 umbrella. So I thought that'd be great. I'd love to kind of give back to the sport and the team and the community, basically just the way I was able to receive a bunch of that support. So yeah, I'm excited to get started on this, have my first few athletes. Things are going well so far.
That's awesome, man. And yeah, we must have known each other about that long then, right? You've been coming to camp for probably 5 years, right?
Yeah, you got it. I think we probably met first in Chattanooga, probably 70.3 team race there.
Okay.
And then I think you and we've probably been to, 5 or 6 run camps together for sure. So yeah, I've known you for a little bit now.
Always a good time. And I got to tell you, man, you're a blast to be around at run camp, man. It's always one of my highlights when you're on the roster. So we have a good time out there. And I think that's really you talk about community. That's really one of my favorites, the run camp. It really kind of brings people together, and there's always a lot of fun to be had on site, never leaving, which is my jam.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. And I guess the thing that kind of caught me off guard the first time I went, certainly didn't know what to expect, how to do a run camp. And on the podcast, right, we talk about the terrain and the miles and the challenge and all that stuff's true. But I think what's a little bit cooler than that is all the other time when we're not running, the other 10 hours a day, 12 hours a day where you're awake, you're not running, and you're hanging out with these people, right? And you are sharing stories about where you're from, what you've done, what you've been into. And of course, we're all, for the most part, triathletes, runners, etc. And, we share war stories and race stories and things like that. But the thing that really got me is I don't think anybody ever one time asked me, what was your time at that race? Or where'd you finish at that race, right? It's not a group of people or a community that's, I don't want to say we're not concerned about your performance. We absolutely are. We want you to do well. But in the end, we want to be around a certain type of person, certain people, build these friendships, build these relationships, right? It's not about, ooh, did you podium at this race? Or, ooh, did I beat your time at that race? Everybody's pulling for each other. Everybody likes to hear each other's successes, their stories, get to know their fellow athletes as people. And I didn't really expect that. I thought it was fantastic. That's why I've been back every year, like you said, for probably 5 years in a row at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, that's always an amazing piece to me. And I think that the culture that we have just really kind of exposes good people or something. I don't know. It's just like we have all these people come in, and obviously if you've been around for a long time, and I was going to ask you, how the experience as a C26 athlete shaped your will shape your coaching and everything. And I suppose that's really what it is, right? Is like what you just said is kind of like you're out to help everybody be their best or whatever, not just necessarily be all beat, like, I don't know. When I think of coaching, sometimes I think of, I hear horror stories about people on the, you know, I've heard of coaches riding along with their athletes and stuff on a bike and thing and yelling, whatever. But what is your style? I mean, I think I kind of know, but why don't you tell people what your style would be interacting with certain athletes that you coach?
Sure. Yeah, so that coaching style, right? I would say as a coach, you need to wear a lot of hats. And that coaching style, for example, that's going to change athlete to athlete. That's going to change day to day and even situation by situation, right? So if I'm coaching Mike, there might be a day where Mike needs me to be a cheerleader and wear that hat, right? And I need to encourage Mike. You got this, man. You can do it. You've been through the training. I know you got it in you. There might be a day where you need that coach that's a dictator, right? And I might need to, I don't want to say come down on you hard, but give you a little kick in the butt, right? Like, hey, Mike, it's time, right? It's time to turn it around, turn it on. We need to get the work done. We need to get going. We need to get motivated. But realistically, a lot of times you're going to be a friend, a therapist, right? A sounding board. So you got to wear all those hats, and you got to be able to interchange those hats with the same athlete day to day, situation to situation, and certainly athlete to athlete. Robbie's done that for me. I know. I think a lot of the coaches on our team see that and realize that and coach the same way. But realistically, right, I'm more interested in coaching the person first, as we say, and the athlete second. You got to build that relationship with a person first, and then let's see what they need as an athlete, and we'll kind of get them down that path too.
Right. Yeah, and you're probably not going to like hearing this, but you actually remind me a lot of me. That's such, but I mean, like I've always thought of you as kind of a guy who likes to have a good time, but you also have a really competitive side, and I think that can get misconstrued sometimes. And I look at you as pretty much a fun guy, but a straight shooter. So, I mean, you love to have fun, so don't try and deny that. Right.
I will not deny that, right? I do like to have a good time. I do like to have fun. And listen, let's be honest, right? We've got life and stress and family and kids and whatever. If we can't have it fun, to what end, right? Right. What's the point, I guess, is my philosophy. So I'm not screwing around all day by any means. I know how to work hard, but like you said, I know how to play hard. I can be super competitive at even silly games we play at run camp that have nothing on the line and they're just for fun and whatever. Yeah, I can get very competitive at that. But again, like you said, I like to make sure we always layer in some fun too, because triathlon shouldn't feel like a job, right? We're all choosing this. It shouldn't feel like something you have to do or need to do. We need to make sure you're enjoying it. We need to make sure you're having fun and you're doing it by choice. Once it starts to feel like a quote unquote job or something you have to do, we're on the wrong path at that point.
Yeah. I mean, you took off your tie for this, so I know you like to have fun, man. You let your hair down.
That's right.
But also, I've known you to like run up and down a ski hill, 50 times or something crazy? What was that race all about?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Occasionally, I like to participate in some races that are maybe a bad idea. So a lot of people have probably heard of Everesting, right? Which is where you take the elevation of Mount Everest and then you either do it on a bike or on a run or whatever. And there's a local race here. It's called Midwest Everest, where you can, literally run up and down a ski hill dozens and dozens of times to, get the equivalent of even half the elevation of Mount Everest or the full elevation of Mount Everest over the course of 50 miles or 100 miles. Terrible idea. I did it once. I was texting Robbie in the middle. He made me promise I'll never do it again. Realistically, I want to do it one more time, actually. So like you said, that competitive streak, right? See if I can do it a little bit better. But just a terrible idea. It took me longer than an Ironman. Couldn't move worse than an Ironman. It was just a train wreck. But like I said, maybe I do it again.
I don't blame you, dude. I mean, it's like always got a lure to it. So you said locally, and that we should let everybody know would be Michigan. You are the man of Michigan, blue. No, wait.
Hold on now, back off on that statement. Yeah, I am in Michigan. I'm outside of Grand Rapids, right? Everybody wants to know, is it go blue or go green around here? So I'm a Spartan fan. I'm a State fan. It can be a little bit rough right now with all my U of M friends, but it's all good. Good spirits.
Yeah, right. And you like to do your beach thing too a little bit, right? In the middle of Lake Michigan. You like swimming out there often?
You
Okay.
know what? Yeah. I just got out for my first open water swim about a week ago. Probably realized I need to put in a few more of those before some races this season. But yeah, we do have a place up north that we enjoy in the summer. So a little more laid back up there, great scenery, great atmosphere, enjoy the water, enjoy the sand dunes. So yeah, we try and spend a good amount of time up north over the summer.
Yeah, I definitely got to get over there at some point. Speaking of races, what do you got coming up, man?
I have a local Olympic in, I don't know, 6 or 8 weeks. Tell you what, I've got a real small local 5K this weekend. I think it comes with a free bunch of asparagus at the finish line. So that'll be interesting. But yeah, a little local 5K. I've got an Olympic. Going to June camp with the team. I've got Louisville 70.3 with the team. And then I do some guide running with a blind runner, and him and I are going to do Detroit Marathon in the fall, and then run camp in February at this point.
Wow, that guy still trusts you, huh?
Rocky start, but yes, he does trust me. We run twice a week. Things are going great now.
Awesome, dude. Have you run every street in the? What was that thing you were doing?
Yeah, website called City Strides.
Okay, yeah.
Keeps track of your runs, and yeah, it'll let you know how many streets you've run and all the cities you run in. So yeah, I've run them all in the town I live in, the town next door, about 90% of the ones beyond, and the next town over. So I'm working my way out as I run here. So yeah, still knocking them off slowly.
Okay. And did you ever get a hold of did you ever knock out 8 Mile Road in Detroit like we had talked about?
I've yet to run on 8 Mile. Still looking for that vest I can wear while I run, and make sure I'm real safe while I do it. So that one's still on the list.
No, I heard Detroit is really turning around. But how far are you from the city there?
Quite a ways. So I'm on the west side of the state. Yeah, the southwest side of the state. That's obviously southeast side. So that's 250-ish miles, a few hours.
Right. What kind of wins do you like to see with your athletes? I mean, have you've been coaching a little bit now. Like, what kind of things kind of fire you up as a coach to see an athlete go through and maybe achieve?
So it depends on the athlete, right? When we have athletes coming in, one of the things we do, right, is we've got a questionnaire, and we kind of ask them, hey, where are you at? What are your goals? What do you struggle with? What do you need help with? And so that's kind of what I'm going to base that on, right? So I've got an athlete I talked to just yesterday, and he's got a big open water swimming problem, right? I would call it problem, but it's a big challenge for him, like a lot of people, right? He's an adult onset swimmer, did his first triathlon last year, and he said, I got in the water and that I didn't get pulled out, but he said I panicked, right? It was different, the feeling was different, and I couldn't see in front of me like the pool, and I couldn't touch the bottom, and start getting all these things going through your head. So, for him, that win is when he does his next race, and he's done enough training, and he's strong enough in the water and all that to where he's going to finish that race, and he's going to say, hey, you know what? I overcame that fear, right? I can swim open water, and I can do it comfortably, and I can maintain a certain pace and get out of the water feeling good and not all anxious and worried and all that stuff. So, those wins are going to be based on a lot of times what the athlete tells me, and then sometimes right in the background. If I see an athlete who comes to us maybe and they don't have that confidence, I think we do get some athletes too that don't necessarily like to identify as an athlete or call themselves an athlete. And eventually over time and consistency, they maybe see and look in the mirror and think, you know what, sure, I'm not running 5 or 6 minutes a mile, but I am an athlete, right? Compared to what 9 out of 10 other Americans are doing with their lives right now, I'm far ahead of all these other people, right? And so you see athletes start to build confidence. It starts to help in other areas of their life, work and family and kids. So that stuff's fun too, when you can see those small changes over time that kind of become big changes also.
Right. Yeah. So, and you have a family and everything, and you're training for a lot of stuff, and you're coaching and everything like that. So, how do you balance all of that stuff? I know you've written a couple blogs for the website that I've found very helpful, and so yeah. What about? I mean, how do you approach your day, man? As a person, athlete,
Sure.
coach.
Sure. So for me personally,
You text
I,
like 6 a.m. today, by the way.
yeah,
So you're
make,
very up and go getter.
that's right.
Really.
That's right. And listen, I'm on Eastern time. I had to wait a couple of hours to text you, right?
Yeah.
I knew it was going to be early.
It's like,
Uh,
is it
for
on? Well,
me,
I'm still thinking if we're going to do this or not.
yeah, you were ready to cancel at that point. No, no, it's off actually. Yeah, so for me, like you said, right? I work, I coach, I have a wife, I've got 3 kids that are super active, super busy. Um, the only way I can operate with my lifestyle and all my commitments is I literally live by a calendar, right? Every day is mapped out. The hours are mapped out, right? Here are my commitments for coaching. Here are my commitments for work. Here are my commitments to my kids' events, and then my workouts, right? And so I live by a calendar. It sounds silly, but I really do. My wife shares the same calendar. We both know what's going on. And, for me personally, weekly headed into a week, usually Sunday nights, my wife and I, we have a conversation. Hey, here's what our week looks like. Here's everything. Here's where it all fits. I look at my workouts coming up in the entire week going forward, make sure they're in spots where the time fits and all that stuff, and do the best I can at that point. Now, that style's not for everybody, right? That style's for me. There are some people who like a loose laid plan, and they like to know, hey, here's the workouts I need to get done this week. They don't have to know the time and the day and things like that. Some people have some more flexibility. So that's fine. That's just how I do it, right? Tons of planning, lots of communication with my wife, with my kids, make sure everybody's on the same page. And then if you have to pivot last minute, you pivot. It is what it is, right? That's life.
Yeah. Yeah, you can wear both the hats. So you have the capability of being really buttoned down, but I know you well enough to know that you're flexible and you can roll with the punches, so to speak.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. You're real good at that. I know that.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. No problem, buddy. No problem. So I guess what I will see you next will be at camp, right?
Yeah. June camp. Yeah. This month, I guess. It's June now.
Jesus, it's like 3 weeks away.
It is. You ready?
I'm not ready. I mean, I am ready, but I just came back from a road trip down to my supposed sprint.
Okay.
That never happened because a gentleman on our roster, maybe a coach even, said he had me registered, but I wasn't. So I got shut down.
And you couldn't register day before, day of. They weren't having it.
No, I commandeered the race director and had him in a corner and gave him my biggest pitch, and he just shut me down. I was in my gear, ready to go, but it was an insurance thing, so I understood it. I mean, race directors is the most thankless job in the world, and the last thing they need is some idiot like me trying to beg my way into a race. So I just dropped it. It was fine. But
you didn't lead with, do you know who I am?
No, I did not do that because he already knew. Actually, he knew what was going down there, and that's especially why I didn't push it because, I don't know. I mean, I could never do race director job. I think you could be a race director. I think you might enjoy it actually.
It's funny you mentioned that. It seems like I was just asked to organize not a triathlon, but just a run up here, this community event. So yeah, I'm gonna give it a go. So come see me in September and ask me how it went.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, running a run event, I could almost get behind, but the tri thing
Yeah,
just makes me just go crazy thinking about details and
I agree. I'm with you.
uh I just so I just walked away, but and well, okay. So anything else you wanna let known to the people out here and about your style and what you wanna, what you think, how you think about coaching, I guess.
Yeah, we hit on it a little bit earlier, right?
Uh,
I'm coaching obviously under that C26 umbrella, and the motto, if you will, right, for that team is we want people, as we say all the time, we want them to be happy and healthy, right? And we talked about that. For me, that looks like coaching the person first and the athlete second, and obviously we'll do it at the same time. And depending on which one of those coach hats I need to wear, that's what we'll do that day with each athlete, right, in each situation. I would echo what a few of our other coaches have already said, and say that we've got a phenomenal coaching roster at this point, right? So we've had, three great coaches for a long time. Adding kind of this new stable of coaches. If anybody's listening or watching and they've got any interest in coaching, there's going to be a good fit for you, right? We have our coaches are split kind of 50-50, male and female, age ranges 20s to 60s, tons of experience, different experiences, racing all sorts of events, all sorts of different stuff. So there's going to be somebody I think that everybody out there will mesh with and get along with and like that coaching style. If that's me, fantastic. I'm happy to help. If that's one of the other dozen coaches we have, I'm happy for that too. I just I'm excited to bring more athletes into the fold, onto the team, and help them experience the same thing we've all experienced and we preach, right? Which is that community and that friendship and that family that C26 brings.
Yeah. Awesome, dude. Well, it's been a pleasure catching up. We should probably do more of these Zoom calls for pleasure and talk about some crazier stuff offline. But
I agree.
ah, but it's been nice, man. Thanks for doing it, and
You got it.
I look forward to seeing you in June, buddy.
Sounds good. Good to chat with you.
All right, man. We'll see you later.
Yep. Talk to you later.